All right. We are getting into the finale of Tell Me Why. Let's see what happens. So last time we left off, we were heading over to Sam's place to talk to him about our father. Try to find out who he is. Oh, give me just a moment. Yeah, everything's streaming, so that's good. Right? Yeah. Sweet. Here we go. Delos Marine.
Okay. You can do this.
Let's take a look around, see if there's anything we can interact with. So he's got his house right above his garage. Yeah, last stream we told Uncle Eddie that we actually killed our mom. Out of order, go around. Can I take a peek in there?
Good. He's here.
Yeah, Sam is here. No, she's nervous. I mean, every right to be. Scenery is beautiful around here.
Visualize the outcome you want.
Alright. Let's go confront
right.
Sam.
Let's do this.
Family's family. Get it. Fucking. I already got the lifters in there. Damn it. Need some thread sealant. Oh, Allie, Hello.
Hi, Sam. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What are you doing?
My cousin Billy bought an old motorboat, but that fool drowned the engine taking her out. Yeah, I told him I'd fix it. Can't put any of the chain or the valve covers back on. So, did you need something?
I was hoping to. I actually wanted to check out your boat, is all.
Yeah. Well, all right, here she is.
One second again. Sorry about that. Alright.
I haven't seen your boat in the water for a while.
Laura.
Yeah, it's time for annual haul out.
His former wife.
Haul out?
Oh, yeah. You gotta get her up out of the water so you can fix up the hull. And I've been, missing some tools I need, so it's taking a while.
Want to check out this banana sign. Never heard that.
No bananas on board? Really?
Damn right. It's not just superstition. This one time, this greenhorn brought one on board. Well, you wouldn't believe the day we had.
I'm listening.
Boat was 50 miles south in the Pacific, and our hold was full of the morning's catch. Started pulling in our nets when they got all tangled up in our propellers. Made the damn things useless. Stopped us in our tracks, miles off land.
So you blamed the banana and not the fact that you had a brand new crewman?
Bananas are bad luck, sure as hell. Every single time I throw a banana off board, the fish start biting.
All right, if you say so.
So, how's she doing?
Huh?
You go to her diner sometimes, right? Your friend works there?
Oh, you're trying to ask me how your ex-wife is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ate at the diner the other night. She was there. She had just cut all her hair off.
She always wanted to do that. How is she otherwise?
Sam, why don't you just talk to her yourself?
I do. I talk to her. I ask about Richie and Dylan, too. She just doesn't really talk back.
And maybe you should respect that.
Right.
That's why he's asking Allison. What are these? Ballot papers. Hey, cuz, I left you my boat a month ago, and far as I can tell, the only work you've done is test how much blood fit on it. I paid you in advance as a favor. How much beer you can fit on it?
We had a fight.
Bit of sibling rivalry, huh? Oh, you should have seen me and my little brother have at it. Right up till the end.
Curtis Davis Bank, funds transferred, personal check, Benny B. Beachy. It's this one, Alaska First Judicial District Court. You are hereby summoned to appear and answer this complaint the following date and time.
How's the house coming along?
DUI.
Slow. There's a lot to do.
Of course. I mean, there's a whole lives in there. Real shame.
Oh man, I hope this isn't muted for copyright.
Goddamn Billy buying some corroded, rusty-ass junker.
Alright, nothing up here. Let's go talk to Sam finally.
Having some trouble?
Can't get these nuts loose because my idiot cousin let them rust. I got a can of rust remover somewhere. If you come across it, pass it over, yeah?
Oh, sure. Would this help?
Oh, thanks, Princess, but that ain't it. It's in a red can.
I'm not a princess.
A red can.
Could you check if I have rust spray somewhere in this mess?
Doesn't look like it. Can't get on the boat. Not seeing it, Sam. Is it under that?
The rust remover's in some sort of spray bottle. Should say sticky mechanisms on it. Oh, damn it.
What happened?
Busted my finger with that stupid wrench. Grab me a gauze. Should be in that cupboard over there.
And there it is. I guess we no longer need that.
I think I got some gauze in a cupboard next to the sink.
Sam? Are you our father?
Figured you'd ask me that question someday.
Well,
I wish I was.
what the hell kind of answer is that?
I'm sorry, Allie. But the man you're looking for, he ain't me.
Oh, okay. Guess I'll just take your word for it then.
Hey, you got no right coming in here, getting angry at me for something I got nothing to do with.
You two were so close. I know you meant something to her.
You honestly think I would have let you two grow up without a father? I may be a deadbeat, but I'm no coward.
But you must know something.
I truly don't. Your mama, she never... Look, we were just friends. I mean, take a look at old Sam. No woman like Mary Ann would ever think twice about a guy like me.
I'm so sick of this. I'm so tired of trying to unravel all of Mary Ann's fucking secrets. I don't understand her. I want to hate her so much. But I don't even know who she was.
Come with me. I want to show you something. Come in. Come in.
Oh. When was the last time you cracked a window?
Yikes.
Eat some, friends. Come over here. Sit with me.
Looking sharp, First Mate Kansky.
What's that now?
These pictures.
Oh, well, yeah, that was, long time ago.
Where all did you travel to?
Mostly worked the Southeast Asia route. Vietnam, Cambodia, around those parts.
Wow. I had no idea you were so worldly.
Well, I worked on a cargo, so I didn't get much shore leave. But, you know, there's really nowhere my legs feel as steady as on the deck of a ship, steering her toward a deep blue horizon.
What do you do on board?
Oh, I worked the deck. Started out doing maintenance. Collecting the garbage, cleaning the hull. Ranked up to navigation after a while.
Gotta get a breath of fresh air.
Much better.
You want to take a seat?
Aeroboat captain saves crew members Samuel Kansky, the 29-year-old captain of the Aniakchak Rose, didn't think twice before jumping into the ice-cold, choppy waters of Mitchell Point to save members of his crew after their vessel capsized off the coast of Juneau, Alaska. Oh, who's that? The bear.
Love this picture of your mama.
Dad, oh, that's not what I wanted. $150. Dad talked to Mom. She said you were having some trouble. It's not much, but hopefully it's enough to put some food in the fridge. Call me Richard.
Why is there a burnt-up pan in your garbage?
Oh, yeah, that. Might have fallen asleep cooking dinner.
Glad you're still with us.
Salmon casserole. Meal plan, breakfast. Not bad. Got a little meal plan. So I guess I sit here. Yep.
What's all this?
Here, I, kept a few things.
Guess that's Sam, Laura, Marianne, and one of the kids.
Mother made that. Oh, she was a real artist, that one. Kind of like you.
Swords and schemes.
Oh, I took her to see that for her birthday. She hated every second of it. Whole drive back, she talked about how it butchered the books.
Did you like it?
Well, fell asleep before I even saw a sword.
I remember this. We got this on our trip to Juneau.
Uh-huh. She saved up for a whole year to make that happen.
Dear Sam, I'm writing from the little hotel you recommended in downtown Juneau, and you are right. The kids love the whale mural. Our other favorite was the Raven mural at City Hall. Today we took the tramway to the top of Mount Roberts. Kids wanted to hike the trail, but we only made it out to the totems. Tomorrow we're going to hike to Nugget Falls to see if the glacier still looks like what it's on the other side. Hope, hope. Hope you're hauling them in by the barrel load, Marianne. Yeah, it seems like they were good friends. Dear Sam, most bears only live to 20 or 25, so congratulations on making it to 29. I certainly wouldn't have survived long out here without you, so thanks again for everything you do. Laura is a very lucky woman. I know you think the best part of your past has been erased, but as long as you don't forget that the Aniakchak Rose will always be seaworthy. It just might look a bit smaller in memory. I hope you get some time on the water with Richie this weekend. and catch everything you deserve, including some new memories. Happy birthday, my cherished friend, Mary Ann.
Look at these ones.
She looks happy.
She was.
When was this? Why are you wearing a square hat?
Oh, yeah, that was when I finally got my captain's license. Mary Ann's the one who pushed me to get it. Made me wear that stupid hat when I went to take the oath. Huh. Yeah, Laura took this one. We'd been working on that barn for months. That roof was a son of a bitch to sheath. Rain just kept on leaking into the loft.
Wait, the barn has a loft?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know?
Oh, she didn't tell us. Is that a trap door?
Yeah. She had me close the whole thing up. Told her it was gonna be real hard to get any hay up there, but she said she didn't mind.
Do you know what's up there?
I could tell she didn't want to talk about it, so I respected that.
Well, we're gonna have to empty it out for the sale, so I guess we'll know soon enough.
Ellie, you really gonna go through with this? It's like I told you, that house meant everything to your mama. It's all we got left. You can't just throw it away.
I'm sorry. I know how hard this has been on you. But you need to move on.
What's done is done.
Maybe it would help to talk to someone about it?
I ever tell you about the time I broke my leg? Shin bone snapped in 3 different places. It stuck in my ass for a month. No use to anybody. I was so down I couldn't even bring myself to get out of bed. But your mama, she has having none of that. She got me up one morning and drove me to a nice spot by the harbor. We watched the boats come in and out all morning. You can't let yourself be defined by the parts that are broken. That's what you told me. You gotta find a way to work with what you got. Think about that a lot. Gotta remember.
All right, I guess back to the house.
Now, if you ever come back here, I'm going to kill you!
Hey, Tyler? I've been looking all over the place for you. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Whoa, whoa. Hey, let's get you off your feet, okay? Come on. Listen, if you want to be alone, I'll go. But if there's anything you need to get off your chest, I won't snitch.
You saw Allison? How is she?
Yeah. I went back to check on her this morning. She was in a pretty bad way. Whatever went on between you two, it wrecked her.
Look, I don't want to drag you into this.
Well, I'm already in it, and you look like hell, so...
I just got a lot on my mind.
Well, I know one thing that's good for that. As a wise man once said, fishing is the cure to the wounds of the heart.
Was that wise man you?
Hey, like I said, I gotta write my own legacy. So, you in?
I don't know.
Come on, we're burning daylight. Let's go.
Where are we gonna go?
Why go anywhere when we have a perfectly frozen lake right here?
Ice fishing in November?
Yeah, it got cold way fast this year. Climate change. That shit's gonna kill us. But hey, fish first. You can walk behind me if you're afraid, though.
You're actually serious?
I am a very serious man, Tyler. Let's go. We still have to get everything out of the car.
Let's go fishing.
Stage is set. It's showtime. Whenever you're ready.
You sure you don't want to go?
Nah. Look, no way I'm gonna rob you of your first catch in your own backyard.
All right.
Got everything you need, by the way?
Yeah, I'm good.
Man, I'm so gonna miss this.
Miss what?
Just hanging out and fishing and... You know, I'm not gonna have a lot of time after we move to Juneau with school and the JC and everything.
Right.
So did any of the people you came up with at Fireweed land in Juneau?
Oh, I'm not sure. Once they left, I never really kept in touch.
Really?
People came and went a lot. And besides, everyone moves on eventually, right?
Not everyone. Not people who get so close they're like family.
I already have a family.
Well, there's a reason we think of families as trees. They keep on sprouting new branches and...
Oh, hey, I think I've got a bite.
You got this. Reel them in.
No, I'm gonna lose it.
Come on. Pull up on the rod.
Okay, so it's not like... Oh,
Reel
here we
him
go. And when Allison had the panic attack, I could
Now
not
give
do
it a
that.
nice pull.
I could definitely do fishing.
I got it.
Woo!
Slipped a little. Got it.
Bravo.
First of many.
Pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Thanks, Sensei.
Oh, hey, did you want to make solid plans to hit the buzzard hole? The river might ice over soon, so we shouldn't wait too long.
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. I was planning to go Saturday. I'll pick you up on the way out.
Cool. I'll set my alarm to ass crack of dawn. I should have said this earlier, but thanks for doing all this.
Don't mention it. Besides, I wanted to see if all this talk of yours was just that.
Your verdict?
You're doing pretty well, but Don't let it go to your head. Still plenty of time for ego to get the best of you.
Yes, sir. So, ice fishing.
I mean, yeah. What isn't there to like about standing in the middle of a frozen lake?
All right, here we go. Okay.
Woo.
Okay. How about them apples?
Nice job.
That's a fish, not an apple.
So, you weren't all talk.
Impressed?
I only see 2 fish in my cooler.
For now. You have this whole fancy bag just for ice fishing?
You don't mix and match. Ever.
Jeez, you don't mess around, do you?
Told you earlier. I'm a very serious man.
So you gonna tell me what's in the cooler, or what?
I could tell you. Or I could watch you squirm a bit longer.
Ugh, you're a terrible person. You know that?
You betcha.
So, about last night. I don't know what Allison said, but from my side, well, I thought we were on the same page. But it turns out we weren't.
Hey, so don't tell her I told you, but last week your sister was almost unbearable. She was jumping up and down with excitement at you coming back.
Really?
You better believe it. Look, the last time you saw each other, you were kids. Just because things have changed doesn't mean you can't work it out.
I know. It's probably my fault. I really pushed her last night. I just don't get why she always has to run away from everything.
You blame her?
Avoiding the problem doesn't make it go away. She's so fixated on selling the house. It's like she's trying to bury the past. All of it. Even the good parts.
Look, I'm not picking sides here. Okay, but she's been murder house girl ever since it happened. Now she's got a chance to put it behind her. And start fresh. Shit, I'd be pretty eager too.
I guess I didn't really think about that. I've been so focused on my own shit. It's been hard, you know? Figuring out how to live out here.
You mean outside of fireweed?
Yeah. When I first got there, all I could think about was getting out. It felt like a cage. But after a while, it started to feel more like a shell. I figured out who I was in there. But now I've got to work out how to be that person out here.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, none of us really know what we're doing. Look, shit may look bleak now, but your sister's never gonna give up on you. And you can lean on me too if you want. Just be careful, okay? Got a bad left shoulder.
I'll keep it in mind. Thanks for listening.
Don't mention it.
Don't you say anything. Easy. Oh. Whoa. Bam. 3 out of 3.
Well played. I got nothing. That was clean.
I'm a little disappointed. Can I ask you something kind of weird and maybe hard to answer?
Weird and kind of hard to answer my jam. What's up?
How'd you know you were ready to trust anyone enough to put yourself out there?
Okay. Yeah, that is a hard question.
Told you.
There's not really 2 ways about it. You gotta be willing to take a hit. Look, I stopped listening to the entire indie folk genre just because I was dumped at a show once. But I put myself back out there just like everyone who's ever gotten their heart stomped on. Because when you meet someone who really sees you, you don't have to pretend anymore.
It's not just for me. What does that mean?
Hard to argue with that. And you're still interested in being that someone? Even after all the shit that's happened?
Hey, I've got baggage too. I think it's worth a chance. Don't you?
I think we're in total agreement here.
Yeah?
Yeah. I get this feeling like I could say or do anything with you, and it'd be cool. I feel safe.
You are. Because your sister would kill me if I did you dirty.
Yeah, she would.
So, doesn't look like you're catching anything with that. You want me to show you how it's done?
Go for it.
Hey, you're missing the show.
Aw, let's make a move.
You okay?
Hmm. I'm wondering if we're gonna end up keeping the house. Well, Michael wants to go to Juneau, so I don't know.
So, yeah.
Yes, one way to put it. Hey, Allie. I think I'll just show myself out.
Okay, call me later?
You know I will.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's totally fine. We were done anyway.
Catch anything?
Mostly ice, but yeah.
Tyler, I'm sorry for freaking out yesterday. All of this, it's just been really hard on me.
Don't apologize. I was being an asshole. We should have never pushed you that hard.
Come here. God, why did I miss you so much? It's only been a day.
I've been told I have that effect on people.
You dum-dum. Okay, so I need to show you something.
What? You're kind of weirding me out.
Can we sit down for a sec?
So, what is it?
I was just at Sam's. He's not our father.
How do you know?
I asked him, point blank.
And you took his word for it?
He was crazy in love with Marianne. Whoever set that fire was doing damage control. And Sam's nothing but damage.
I guess he really doesn't have anything left to lose, does he?
There's something else. Look at this. This was taken in 1992 when Marianne first moved to Delos Crossing. See that ladder? Sam told me the barn has a loft. He helped her build it. Apparently she never told anyone about it.
And it's still there?
As far as he knows, yeah. What do you think? Should we give it a shot?
We've come this far. And a hidden loft? That's got secret shit written all over it.
Let's go. Ugh, what a mess. That's not gonna help us get this house sold.
Yeah, we got our deadbeat dad to thank for that.
So obviously the ladder's gone, but what about that handle? Is it still here somewhere?
What do you think is up there?
I don't know. I'm trying not to speculate. My brain was going to some real dark places.
Don't worry. Whatever's up there, I'll protect you.
We'll see how chivalrous you feel when you've got bats in that perfectly coiffed hair.
It's thinking raccoons. So we need a ladder. There's one right there. Hope the stream isn't too dark.
What do you think is up there?
I don't know. I'm trying not to speculate. My brain was going to some real dark places.
The handle should be behind this.
Interesting.
There it is.
It's opening up.
The secret keeper always did store all the best secrets in the clouds.
Yep. Come on, let's find a way to climb up there.
Let's read. We're almost done with this. So we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. Don't think I've read this one. But let's go ahead and get into it and see if I remember anything. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, winter gave way to spring in a sudden burst of warm air that melted all the snow and all the ice all at once. The river swelled until it could no longer hold all the water in, and then it spilled out to create new rivers in places where no one was expecting them. The whole of the forest went into a panic, looking for shelter from the rising waters. The very old beaver had been working on her dam when one of those new rivers came rushing right at her. She screeched and squealed, but whatever direction she ran, more water appeared. She was caught in the flooding, and though she had once been an excellent swimmer, age had taken its toll, and so the raging water carried her off at a speed she couldn't control. "Help!" she called. The crafty goblins had been running back to their cave under the big wooden house when they heard the beaver's cries. "We have to help the beaver," one goblin said. "You go one way and I'll go the other." They ran, keeping in touch with the gift of the voice. Finally, one of them spotted her, twisting and tumbling in the river. Oh no! But she was on the opposite side of the water, and the goblin could not reach her. "Brother," the sister goblin called out through the gift of the voice, "I see her, but I can't get to her. Maybe you can?" "I'll try." The goblin guided her brother so that he would hit the river in just the right spot to reach the beaver. The plan worked, and soon the second goblin appeared in just the right spot. "Beaver," he shouted, holding out a branch, "grab a hold of this." The beaver grabbed it, but in her panic she pulled the goblin in too. "No!" cried the sister. She ran as hard as her legs could go, managing to outpace the river and get ahead of the beaver and her brother. Searching for some means of getting them out, she spied a low-hanging branch. They zipped by it quickly, but if they were fast enough... "Brother," she cried out through the gift, "you're coming up on a low-hanging branch. You'll zip by it quickly, but if you're fast enough..." "Got it," said her brother, And then he said to the beaver, "Get ready to grab a hold of a low-hanging branch. We're going to zip by it quickly, but if we're fast enough..." Suddenly, they were right in front of it and reached out, snagging hold. Though the water beat against them, trying to shake them loose, they pulled themselves along the branch back to dry land. When they were all safe, the very old beaver thanked the goblins. "But how?" she asked. "Did you know just where to find me? And how did you know that branch was coming?" The goblins shared a secret smile. "Just lucky, I guess," they said. And that is how the goblins saved the very old beaver from the flooding river, and how she never knew how they did it. They're heroes. Now let's see the goblins messing with the Ice King. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient wood, the crafty goblins were getting into all kinds of trouble. They had woken up in a particularly mischief mood that day, and there was not a single denizen of the ancient forest who they did not manage to pull a prank on. They left a mud pie in the princess's kitchen so that when she dug in, she got a big mouthful of dirt. They used to paint to draw silly pictures all over the moose's antlers while he slept. They told the mangy muskrat that his coat had been returned to its former glory, which made him very sad when he rushed to the water's edge and found he was, in fact, still mangy. Wow. They stole branches from their very old beaver's dam in order to have a sword fight. And they filled the old bear's den with burrs. Every time they ran away in a fit of giggles, never stopping to consider whether their jokes had done any harm. They were on their way to fill the pious pelican's beak full of bubbles when they were hoisted into the air by their legs. Though they thrashed and shouted, they found themselves staring into the face of the Ice King. "All morning," he said, "I've been hearing complaints about you two." "They're just pranks," said the goblins. "It's just a prank, bro." "No one has really been hurt?" "Oh no?" asked the Ice King. He forced them to see how each of the victims of their pranks was doing. The princess had a stomachache from swallowing the mud. The moose's antlers itched terribly where the paint had touched them. The muskrat was crying, sad at being reminded what his vanity had cost him. The very old beaver's den was flooded, and the old bear was trying to get the birds out of his fur, but finding most of them helplessly tangled. "For your punishment," said the Ice King, "you must help each of them undo the harm you caused. If you do a good enough job of this, there will be no further punishment. If you do not, you will have to give me your noses so that you can no longer stick them into other people's business." Now, the goblins liked their noses right where they were in the middle of their faces, so they set about making things right. They baked real pie for the princess and brewed her a tea that would settle her stomach. They scrubbed the moose's antlers clean and then covered them in soothing mud. They sat by the river with the muskrat, listening as he talked in great detail about his old coat, and then they did their best to point out all the things that were still handsome about him, like his proud whiskers and sparkling eyes. They let the very old beaver rest while they repaired all the damage done to her den, and then finally they removed every burr from the old bear's fur, even the ones that were hopelessly tangled. In the end, they came back before the Ice King to see if they had done enough. The Ice King surveyed the forest and found that everyone seemed to be back to normal. "What did you learn?" asked the Ice King. "That our pranks can make people feel bad," said the goblins. The Ice King smiled and nodded. "Yes, actions have consequences. In case you forget, I am going to leave you with a reminder. Whenever one of your pranks is going to hurt someone, you are going to feel a little pit in your stomach. That will be your punishment and your warning." So every time after that the goblins set out to do a prank that went a little too far, they felt a little pain in their stomachs, and they were forced to consider whether it was the right thing to do. And that is how the goblins irritated the Ice King and how they were punished. The Pelican forgives the goblins. What did they do? Let's see. I want to see the other titles. Pelican forgives the goblins meet the ice troll, the goblins trick the muskrat. Oh, they're still messing with them? The moose teaches the goblins, the mad hunter gets his hand back. Whoa! My dog just had a huge sneeze. You know, one of those where he just shakes his head everywhere. Or dogs, not just him. Alright, let's see what the goblins did to the pelican. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, there lived a pair of crafty goblins in a cave below a big wooden house. They lived with a wise princess who shared as much food with them as she was able, but it was never quite enough. This left the goblins hungry, very hungry, always hungry. One day, as they were out foraging for food, the pious pelican landed on a rock and dumped a smorgasbord from her beak, which the goblins knew was magic and never emptied. There were king crabs in red, blue, gold, and scarlet. Veiny blue shrimp, pink-shelled scallops, oblong brown clams, shiny purple shiny urchins, and even one prickly red sea cucumber. The food just kept coming. They watched as the pelican ate one clam and then took a nap. "Do you think she would mind if we just took a little?" asked one goblin to the other. "Her beak never empties. She won't possibly miss a couple of crabs," said the second, licking her lips. They were agreed, and so they crept over, filched some crabs, and ran. The goblins scarfed the crabs, but when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. "She won't miss a handful of shrimp," said one goblin to the other. The goblins scarfed the shrimp, but when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. "Maybe also a few scallops," said one goblin to the other. The goblins scarfed the scallops, but when they were finished, they found that they were still hungry. So they went back for the clams, and then the urchins, and finally even the sea cucumber. Finally they were not hungry, but there was also nothing left. Just then the pelican woke up. "What happened to my food?" she asked. Unable to lie about it, the goblins confessed their crime. The pelican was dismayed, but she was a charitable, hearted bird, and she could tell the crafty goblins were growing little creatures. "Goblins," said the pious pelican, "I will share my food with you, but you must, in return, follow my example, and be as generous with others as I am with you. Take that to heart, and I will have considered your debt paid." "But we have nothing to give," said the goblins. "You have your nimble hands and crafty brains and your loving hearts," said the pelican. The crafty goblins realized how much they had to give, and for the rest of the day they looked for ways to help the other creatures in the forest. They found the stalwart moose struggling with an itchy, hard-to-reach spot on his back, and so they climbed up and gave it a good scratching. Next they helped the old bear, who could not get to the honey out of a narrow beehive. They climbed up to the top of the tree with the hive, and then dropped it, cracking it open. Finally they found the princess crying over a loss she would not speak about, so they wrapped their little arms around her in a great big hug and stayed until she felt better. When they were done, they returned to the pious pelican. "Did it feel good being as generous as I am?" asked the pelican. "It did," said the goblins. "I'm glad," said the pelican. "We all have problems that we can't solve on our own. But if everyone goes about with generosity in their hearts, then there is always someone on hand to help. But we all must commit to do so, or there may be no one there to help you when you need it." That made sense to the goblins, and they thanked the pious pelican for her food and the lesson. Of course, by this time they were hungry again, and that remained an ongoing problem until the day the stalwart moose taught them to fish. But that is another story. That is how the pious pelican forgave the crafty goblins, and how she taught them charity. Hold on. Alright. Let's see who this ice troll is. And we just got 3 more after that. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, the crafty goblins were awake long after they should have been asleep. One goblin said to the other, "Let's go explore the forest." Now the goblins were not in the habit of exploring the forest late at night, and they did not know what they would find. But this did not scare them off. They crept out of their beds, bundled up, and went exploring. It was dark. The light of the moon was just enough to keep them from walking into trees, but they could not see more than 15 feet in front of them. Every time a twig snapped or branches rattled, they considered turning back, but they didn't. And so they had ventured far beyond the house and into a part of the forest they were not familiar with. When they realized the snapping of twigs and the rattling of branches had become steady, something was following them. They turned to run, but a hulking figure emerged from the darkness, sweeping them up with a giant hand and stuffing them into a burlap sack. The goblins wiggled and cried out, but the sack remained shut as their captor stopped the force, singing, "Whittle-diddle-dum, whittle-diddle-dee, in the bag's a meal for me." After a lot of thumping and thudding, the bag opened, and the goblins were dumped into a giant iron pot full of warming water. A huge troll stood overhead, grinning down at them through the long, bushy white eyebrows. "I am the ice troll, and you are my dinner. You ready to cook?" the goblins singing, "Whittle-diddle-dum, dum-dee-dee, there's soon to be a soup for me." Finishing his ditty, he bent over to stoke the fire beneath the pot and let out a loud noise of pain, rubbing a spot on his back that always ached. Ooh, I know that. The troll stood painfully and walked over to a stone shelf where he began to chop potatoes. One of the goblins had an idea. She whispered to her brother, "Follow my lead." The goblin stretched out in the water, floating and letting out sighs of contentment. "Ah," said one of the goblins, "this is the most relaxed I've ever been. My body feels so good. I think I could run 100 miles without stopping," said the second. The troll peered at them. They weren't supposed to be happy about being in the cook-pot, but they certainly looked like they were. "Troll," said the goblins, "if your back is hurting, you should try sitting in the water, just for a little bit, before it gets too hot." The troll stomped over. "But if I take you out, then you will escape, and there will be no soup for me." "Put us back in the sack," suggested the goblins, "then we can't run away." This made sense to the troll. The spot on his back that always ached was still bothering him, and the goblins couldn't go anywhere if they were trapped. So he stuffed the goblins back into the sack and climbed into the soup pot. He stretched out and let out a sigh of contentment. Meanwhile, the goblins threw themselves around in the sack until it began to swing. The troll was so relaxed he didn't even notice. The bag dropped onto the shelf where the troll had been chopping potatoes. The goblins pushed it up against the edge of the troll's knife, sawing a hole. Then they made a break for it. The troll finally noticed what they were doing and roared out in anger. But he was so relaxed that when he tried to chase them, he tumbled out of the cookpot and into the flames, catching his bushy eyebrows on fire. The goblins ran and ran and ran as fast as they could through the ancient and deep forest until they were back in their cave and safe in their beds. They vowed never to venture out into the ancient and deep forest late at night again, for they did not think they'd be so lucky as to trick the ice troll twice. And that is the story of how the crafty goblins met the ice troll and why they never did again. I will read this last one, or this one as my last, and then get back to the story, because I'm curious on what they do to the muskrat. Looks like they got a coat. Poor little guy. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient wood, there lived a muskrat. The muskrat was a lazy, cowardly creature who did little but lay around in the sun, cleaning his beautiful coat until it shone. One day the muskrat found the crafty goblins playing King of the Mountain on his favorite rock. He was too cowardly to confront them directly, and so he retreated to a safe distance and then pitched a stone right at a hornet's nest hanging overhead. One of the goblins saw him do it, but before she could say anything, the hornets emerged, furious, and chased the goblins away, stinging them. With the rock empty, the muskrat claimed his spot. When the goblins returned, they asked the muskrat, "Why did you do that?" "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, turning away to ignore them. The goblins knew that the muskrat cared for nothing but his coat, so they devised to steal it in order to teach him a lesson. As the muskrat lay in the sun, he spied the goblins strutting by. Their skin was covered in flecks of gold. "Goblins," called the muskrat, "what happened to make your skin shine that way?" When we were attacked by the hornets, we ran and ran until we found a pool by the glacier. We dove in and then came out this way. Would you show me this pool? Asked the muskrat. The crafty goblins led the muskrat to a pool. The muskrat looked at the pool skeptically. It looks like a pool, he said. The goblins chuckled and shrugged. You don't have to jump in if you don't want to, but what do you lose if you try? And if it works, why, you'll be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest. With visions of his splendid coat in mind, the muskrat jumped in. When he emerged, he was disappointed to find that nothing had changed. Said one goblin. Maybe you have to be stung by the hornets first, just like us. The muskrat hesitated because getting stung would be painful. Seeing his hesitation, the goblin added, If it works, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest. The muskrat decided it was worth it, so he returned to the hornet's nest and pitched a stone right at it. The hornets emerged, even more furious this time. They chased the muskrat, stinging him repeatedly until he jumped into the magic pool. The muskrat was disappointed to find that once again nothing had changed. I wonder if the magic only works for us, said one of the goblins. Would you like me to jump in with your coat? The muskrat hesitated. If it works, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest. With visions of his splendid coat in mind, the muskrat agreed. He slipped it off and handed it to the goblins. Without his coat, the muskrat was pale and covered in scabbing welts. Instead of jumping into the pool, one of the goblins ran away with the coat, laughing. The other pushed the muskrat into the frigid pool, and as water splashed the gold flecks ran, revealing that they had only ever been painted on. The muskrat cried so pitifully and made such a clamor that he awoke the Ice King, who came down to the forest to see what had happened. When the Ice King saw the muskrat, he laughed, only further infuriating the creature. Tell me what happened, said the Ice King. Both the muskrat and the goblins told their sides of the story, and the Ice King considered the case before him. Is it true that the muskrat is vain and he thinks of nothing but himself? It is true that the muskrat is vain and he thinks of nothing but himself, concluded the Ice King. But he needs something to keep him warm in the winter and the snow. So the Ice King was decided. The muskrat would get his coat back, but it would only be patchy and unkempt. After that day, he became known as Mangy Muskrat. And that is how the goblins tricked the muskrat into giving up his coat and how he got his name. Poor guy. And just two left.
Well, that's way too high to jump. You want to give me a leg up?
I'm so not touching your nasty shoes. We'll find a ladder.
I agree with Tyler.
Can you see anything?
Nope. Nada.
It's like a shrine up there.
Here, found a switch.
Ooh. Once upon a time, there was
Holy shit. Well, that shaved a few years off my life. Whoa.
It's
Her story.
Look, she left us something.
red, orange, yellow.
It's got a combination lock with letters.
Do you think she hid the code somewhere in all this?
Knowing Mary Ann, probably.
Well, you want to do this?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's start here.
Alright, I'm actually going to read the last two stories because I feel like we might be coming up to the conclusion. We already know what happens here. Moose teaches them how to fish, but that last one I'm pretty curious about. Alright. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins were hungry. This wasn't unusual. The goblins were always hungry, but today they were particularly hungry. They opened the wise princess's cupboards to look for a snack, but all she had was a small pie of nuts and berries, and just one strip of dried fish. The goblins grabbed it all and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. They went out into the woods to look for more to eat. First they dropped by the small pond. The big frog was asleep, and beside the pond was a pile of insects she had caught for eating after she woke up. The goblins crept up to the pile, careful not to wake the big frog. As they got close, she ribbited loudly and they froze. But the big frog kept sleeping, so they grabbed up the pile of insects and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, they found the stalwart moose watching them. Did you just steal the big frog's food? The goblins tried not to look guilty, but failed. She said we could have them, they cried. Oh, really? Asked the big moose. Let's ask her. So Moose woke up the big frog and asked, Did you say the goblins could have your food? The big frog looked at the goblins, who she knew were always hungry, and nodded. Yes, I did. Really? Asked the moose, surprised. Frog nodded, and the moose sighed. All right then, he said, and he had to let the goblins go. Their next stop was the river. They watched as the old bear swiped at a leaping salmon, catching it deftly in his large paws. He laid it out upon a rock and left it to dry, lumbering into the woods to seek out some berries. The crafty goblins crept up to the rock carefully in case the old bear returned. They reached the rocks and grabbed the salmon and gobbled it all up, but they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, the stalwart moose was once again waiting for them. Are you going to tell me old bear said you could have that? Yes, replied goblins. Old bear ambled up at that moment, and Moose asked him, Did you leave the fish for the goblins? Old bear looked at the goblins, who knew were always hungry, and nodded. I did, he said. Really? Asked the moose. Really, said the old bear. After Moose left, Old Bear said to the goblins, Be sure to tell the princess I was kind to you, and don't steal my fish again. The goblins, still hungry, went out looking for one more meal. They crept up to the mangy muskrat's lodge and began to climb inside when they were dragged right back out. The stalwart moose dangled them by the seats of their pants and said, Now I know mangy muskrat didn't tell you that you could eat his food because he blames you for his coat being ruined. Besides, he barely has enough for himself and doesn't share with anyone. The goblins began to protest, but he shook his head and let the goblins down and said, Come with me. The goblins followed the stalwart moose to a part of the river which it ran slow enough for them to walk into it safely. He gave them each a fishing line and said, I'm going to teach you to fish, so that when you are hungry you do not need to steal from the animals of the forest. It will be hard work, but it will be honest. The crafty goblins were not against working hard. They were just hungry, and so they listened to Moose and soon pulled wiggling fish out of the river. They ate them up, and finally they were no longer hungry. And that is how the moose came to teach the crafty goblins to fish. And the last one. Here we go. Once upon a time, in a deep and cold lake near the ancient forest, there lived an old seal who was a powerful witch. After angering the Ice King, she had been bound to the lake, allowed only to venture out when the moon was full, and only looking like the hag she truly was. For years she dreamed of vengeance, all alone within the deep blue lake among the corpses of her many previous victims. One night she awoke to see a black and hooded silhouette clawing to reach a beautiful gown full of stone. The human had delved far deeper into the lake than any land dweller should have been able to go. His tenacity and ferociousness impressed the moon hag, and she decided he would be wasted in her statuary of corpses. She used her magic to unspell him, allowing him to breathe underwater, but also binding him to her service. You, she said, will be the instrument of my release and my revenge, for you and I together will kill the Ice King. The moon hag had never heard of the Mad Hunter, and she did not know the power he wielded. She could only tell he was a hunter, and her lust for revenge blinded her to the threat he posed. She gifted him a hand of ice, which was not as nimble as the hand of flesh, but allowed him to serve her better than no hand at all. The moon hag has spent years devising the perfect plan to kill the Ice King, and years more moving all the pieces into place to execute it. In the meantime, the Mad Hunter served her, guarding her chest of treasures and plotting his own plots. Finally, everything was prepared. The full moon rose, and the moon hag stepped onto land, giddy at the thought she would never have to leave again if it did not please her. She brought the Mad Hunter to his post, a jagged peak of ice and stone from which he would loose the arrow that would slay the Ice King. Before she could go, he put forward a proposal. Moon hag, said the Mad Hunter, if you grow back my missing hand, I would be certain to hit the Ice King with my arrow. We will only have one shot, and I would hate to miss. You're a powerful witch, so you'll be able to craft ties to bind me to this place that I cannot break. The moon hag considered it. All right, I will grow back your hand and then bind you here with ties that will not break. She cast a spell, and the Mad Hunter's hand of ice was replaced with a hand of flesh. As the witch left to complete the next part of her plan, the Mad Hunter grinned wickedly in the moonlight. After a short time, the moon hag returned, luring the Ice King to the Mad Hunter's line of sight. What is this about, moon hag? Asked the Ice King. Many a long year have you bound me to the lake, said the moon hag. Many a long year have I been alone in the dark. That ends tonight. She cast a powerful spell that made the Ice King slow to react, and then gave the signal. Mad Hunter, she cried, let your arrow fly. Nothing happened. She twitched nervously. Mad Hunter, she growled, let your arrow fly. Still, nothing happened. The Ice King, meanwhile, was striding toward her, slow but furious. The moon hag fled, running first to the jagged peak of ice and stone where her servant should have waited. But the peak was empty, the ties had been broken, and the Mad Hunter was gone. For in the end, he was the more powerful of the two. Especially once he had two hands. When the Ice King finally caught the hag, his furious voice could be heard throughout the forest. For your wickedness, you will be eternally bound to the lake. You will no longer be allowed to leave, not even under a full moon. The moon hag was imprisoned in the lake, and she never again tried to escape. And this is how the Mad Hunter escaped the moon hag, and how he got his left hand back. So I forgot who the Mad Hunter was hunting for. Sorry, my eye is watering from my throat. So yeah, the gold lady. He was hunting for the gold lady. Alright, let's see what this is all about.
Recognize this?
Yeah. It's from the story where the goblins tricked the Mad Hunter.
It looks like it, but it's different, right? Can you check the book?
Is it different? The goblins aren't there. There's the princess. There's the castle. There's his ice hand.
Okay, spot the differences.
Doesn't have a hand. It's a princess's gown. The princess isn't there.
It moves. Oh, some of these parts are buttons. Wait,
Hmm.
the Mad Hunter still has two hands here.
So this was either before the Gold Lady cut off his other one, or after he earned it back?
Which either makes it before most of the stories or after.
Yeah, at some point when she was running away from whatever the hell the Mad Hunter meant to Marianne.
So we take out the princess, she's out. He doesn't have a hand.
Or not.
The flowers are there. Make sure they're in.
She had that flower? Is that like a innocence lost kind of thing? Huh. A pink flower. Was that in the original picture?
Mm-hmm. No castles.
Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe that branch looks a little bit different? I don't know. It's not the same title, so I guess that counts as a difference? Huh. Maybe not. But the title is different.
Hmm.
Okay, spot the differences.
Figured anything out yet?
Nah, still figuring it out. Really grasping at straws here. Never mind, that's nothing. It's just a random star. No special meaning. Even if the branch is a little different. Well, here it is. Why do you think she changed the picture?
I don't know. Maybe it's a message. Like, the differences between the two mean something.
Something about Marianne, right? Since she's the princess?
Yeah. Why don't we try to find them all and then see if it makes any sense?
Okay, so
The
that's
princess
different.
is running away from the Mad Hunter.
Who was sent by the Gold Lady, according to the story.
Do you think the Gold Lady could have been Marianne's mom? I mean, she always used to say she moved to the end of the world to get away from her family.
Yeah, you're right. She ran away. Just like the princess is here.
That tree's different.
No goblins.
Yeah. In the original, the goblins managed to save the princess from the Mad Hunter.
So we saved Marianne from something, but not in this version?
Interesting.
That's it. Whoa.
What's in there? Tyler, see that little light? I think we need to solve this one next.
Pictures, letters. Have you ever seen any of these?
All the pictures of Marianne I've ever seen were the ones hanging on the walls.
The gold lady. That was definitely her mom.
So, did Marianne grow up kinda rich?
Maybe. Would have been nice to have some of that. I can't believe she was a ballet dancer. Marianne.
And a good one, too.
God, that's so not her.
First prize in second place. Oh, little bird.
Oh, poor thing.
Why would she keep an old drawing of a pet in here?
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a picture of her that young.
I think that's her mom in the background.
Did you know she studied engineering?
No, but it looks like she changed her major to visual arts.
I don't think she actually got it changed. The paper's not signed and it's all wrinkled, like someone tried to throw it away. An artsy environmentalist. Yep, that sounds like Marianne's exact kind of catnip.
I guess that's her husband? Or former husband? Brett. Marianne, I can't do this anymore. You deserve better than cliche bullshit. It's not you, it's me. But the truth is, it's all just been too much to deal with, and I've realized I'm just not ready. Maybe if we could have dealt with all of this on our own, without your mom constantly putting pressure on us, things could have been different. But the damage is done, and it's probably too late for that now. I'm so sorry. You're an amazing person, and you made me a better man. I hate myself for doing this, but I feel like we'll both be better off apart. There I go with the cliche again. Please don't ever stop being who you are. Here, but I'm gone. Brent.
Could this guy have been any more cryptic?
Tyler, see that little light? I think we need to solve this one next.
Why are these pictures from the Book of Goblins here?
I don't know.
Her cruel parents kept her locked away in their musty palace.
There's the gold lady again. She's all over the board. There was a figure of her in that stash by the Mad Hunter painting, right?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe all of this is related to what we found in there.
Let's look at the collectibles. Found the old bear.
The old bear is a mighty beast who lives in a beautiful cave of ice. He is in love with the wise princess, but she doesn't love him back. The gold lady is the wise princess's cruel mother, who sent the Mad Hunter to drive the girl back to the palace.
Guess I missed two inside chapter 2. Guess it would have been the frog and the beaver.
Figured anything out yet?
Nah, still thinking.
Okay, so she had a bird.
Hey, I can move the piece next to the gold lady.
All these pictures. They look like images from Marianne's life before Delos, don't they?
Well, some of them do anyway.
Maybe that's it then. We need to figure out which ones are real?
She was a dancer.
The princess dancing, playing violin, spinning wool. I guess this is stuff she did for fun?
Notice how unhappy she looks in all these pictures? I don't think she was having any fun.
So I guess this is her major. She wasn't in. It's like a lawyer, finance, doctor, and it's like flowers. Let's put that there.
The wise princess looks like she's trying to run away.
And she's being watched by the gold lady.
So this would be Brent. It's like a blacksmith, a knight, painter, and a lumberjack. Those arts.
What's the gold lady do? Is that it?
It's opening.
What's in there this time?
I think that's our current house.
Is that Carol?
Yeah, and Sam. Look at him. He's so young and happy.
Wow. She worked for a watchmaker in Juneau before she moved to Delos. No wonder she was so handy.
Tammy. Salmonberry Park, Kodiak Island, Eco Village Arts Workshop. Oof.
Salmonberry Park. Huh. Is that some kind of commune?
Looks like it. So weird to imagine her living in a community like that. With, other people.
The weirdest part is how they all seem to love her. Where was prom queen Mary Ann when the whole town was turning on us?
From the good people of Salmonberry Park, Kodiak Island, June 1992. Don't be a stranger. Keep on looking for those answers to the questions in your head to which you're blind. Smiley-faced Shelley. We miss you already, Sol and Brownwind. Sorry we're losing you to the modern civilization. We'll miss your positive attitude and your adventurous spirit. Also, your wild edibles picking skills. How pretty, Marcus. Bon voyage, Marianne. Rick, Marianne, you had the warmest, most beautiful aura, and I know you'll keep on shining whenever you land. Peace and blessings, Charita. Thanks for bringing our little ray of sunshine. Godspeed, Cabot and Wadi. I like your picture. Love, Kamala. Dad. This is from her dad.
Her father.
5/17/1996. Marianne, I hope this letter finds you, but since you didn't leave any contact information, I will have to send it to your aunt and hope for the best. I am writing to inform you that your mother has passed away last week. We just had her funeral reception. The house has been filled with people all day, friends, family, colleagues, and church members. It's now 11 p.m. and I'm sitting alone at the kitchen table, surrounded by dozens of trays of food, flowers, and sympathy cards. Your cousin 80 brought in a beautiful photo album full of our holiday pictures and log Connor. You're there in all of them, but you weren't here today. We haven't heard from you in 4 years and can only hope you made it to Alaska or wherever you are, and that you and your child are both safe. Just one. Your mother had been sick and depressed for years, and you can imagine why. The pain of being shunned by her own daughter, knowing she would never get to see her grandchild grow up. It spread through her body like cancer and consumed her completely. All this suffering simply because you ran away like a temperamental little girl instead of accepting her help when you got pregnant out of wedlock. After dropping out of college and without a penny to your name. She only stepped up to help because she knew you weren't ready to raise a child properly, Marianne. A mother's duty doesn't end when her children leave home. Now that you're a mother yourself, I hope you will begin to understand that good parenting isn't about coddling children. It's about providing for them and shaping them into people they're supposed to become, whether they like it or not. I won't trouble you again. You've made your intentions clear. I just thought you should know. Dad.
What the hell? Marianne was pregnant in 1992, before she even got here.
Before us? Do we have a long-lost sibling out there somewhere?
It's possible, but she could have given it up or miscarried. Who knows?
Yeah, you're right. Do you think we could track down her father?
You mean the grandfather she never told us about? I don't think I want to.
You're not at all excited about having more family.
You saw the letter. I don't think we want any part of that.
Fine. Let's keep digging.
What is that L for? Oh, I guess that's for the...
This just lit up, so I think we're supposed to try this one next. We'll get to those later. Let's finish this one, okay?
Alright. One day she took her tiara and ran away to the forest.
What's this?
Some sort of map?
There's the frog. The moose. And there's the mountain. And the frog. Maybe the house.
This is the princess's house.
Okay, so these don't move.
What's that plant thing on top?
Oh, those are definitely salmonberry flowers.
Hey, that degree in outdoor studies is paying off.
This looks like a dinner party with the old bear and the very old beaver. Some sort of clock? That's the gold lady. It seems like it's not doing anything. Maybe it's broken?
So it looks like it's like a timeline of stuff.
This is the princess's house.
Okay. We're gonna go from
That's the gold lady's
this.
castle.
We start there. Salmon berries. Let's go there.
This is the princess's house.
What's that plant thing on top?
Oh, those are definitely salmonberry flowers.
Hey, that degree in outdoor studies is paying off.
This looks like a dinner party with the old bear and the very old beaver. Some sort of clock? Damn it. Why is nothing happening? Some sort of clock?
That clock says like 4:10.
That's the gold lady's castle.
What's that plant thing on top?
Oh, those are some sort of clock? This is the princess's house. This looks like a dinner party with the old
Got
bear
it.
and the very old beaver.
Interesting.
Yes.
What's in there? Another letter?
The princess's laws. Is this from the Book of Goblins?
Not that I know of.
Well, sure looks like it could be.
The Princess's Loss. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. She had made it through the woods into that house with nothing left but the clothes on her back and a single item from her old life, a splendid tiara. She lost almost everything in her desperate flight from the mad hunter. The trees tore the rucksack from her back and shredded her dress and left a pattern of red welts on her skin, but through it all she clutched the tiara close to her chest, fearing any misstep could cause it to fall from her arms and break. The tiara had its own spot in the big wooden house, a pillow near the window where the sun would catch on its surface to shine and wink the princess. Something could stare for hours at the tiara, marveling in its beauty and running her thumb down its curves every morning. She would wake and she would tend to it, polishing its every surface to be sure it shone as brightly as possibly could. Then she would pluck it up, place it upon her head, and walk the woods, feeling somehow more complete, because what, after all, was a princess without a crown? Every night she would place it upon its pillow, giving it a quick kiss, and go to bed. On her way she would pause and glance back to be sure it was still there. She hated to be separated from it, but she knew it was safest on the pillow while she slept. Ooh, that's a lot. Give me just a moment to say hello to my partner. Oh, BRB. Alright, let's see what the rest of this is. One night the princess woke to a raging storm. The wind howled against the walls, rattling the windows in their panes. Fearing a gust might burst open a window and blow the tiara to the ground, she plucked it from its pillow and brought it to bed with her. All through the night she held the tiara close, and in the morning she woke to find herself still cradling it. The storm had passed, and the princess relaxed. That day was the same as any other, though she perhaps gave the tiara an even more thorough cleaning, grateful as she was that nothing had gone wrong. That night she placed the tiara upon its pillow, giving it a quick kiss, and went to bed, pausing on her way to be sure it was still there. In the morning she woke and sensed immediately that something was wrong. In the living room, the tiara lay upon the ground, broken, dull, and faded. Nothing else in the room had changed. The pillow was exactly where she had left it. The window was closed. There had been no storm, no wind, no sign that anything at all could have gone amiss. Only the broken tiara, mute upon the ground. She picked it up and held it in her arms with a guttural cry. But though she tried to fix and polish it, it was gone, beyond repair, and with no shine left. The princess held the tiara through the day and through the next night, sitting in the same spot at the window where she used to polish it. When the sun rose, she looked outside, and her gaze fixed on the sapling. She remembered how this sapling had survived the winter, clinging to life despite the frozen, unforgiving earth. Without a word, she went out and buried the tiara in the ground beneath the sapling. And as the final scoop of dirt fell, the tiara felt truly gone, and with it the final link to her old self. She could only go forward and find a new place for herself in this world, where she was no longer truly a princess in a tiara and a beautiful gown, but a wan woman alone in a deep and ancient wood. And that was how the princess lost her most precious treasure, and her title.
And that was how the princess lost her most precious treasure and her title. That was the story she read us that night.
God, it makes sense now.
Yeah, she got pregnant. And she ran away to start a new life. And then she made her way to Delos Crossing, where she was finally happy. But then the baby died.
I can't even imagine how she must have felt. She left everything behind, built a whole new life for him. And then he was just gone.
I guess having us helped her move on. But when it looked like we were gonna be taken away, she snapped. She just couldn't lose any more children. It really wasn't anything we did.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all this.
I don't either, but all I wanted was to understand what happened to her. And now I do.
Yeah. But we still haven't seen what's in that chest. Okay, so how do we open it?
There you go, stalwart moose. We'll let the mangy muskrat have his rock back. The Ice
Missing
King
the
goes
frog.
in the forest, obviously. The old bear's gotta be in his ice cave. Gold Lady stays locked up in her castle. Here, the Secret Keeper, hiding secrets in the clouds. Crafty goblins go here. The Moonhag's gotta be imprisoned in her lake. The Mad Hunter, always on the princess's trail. The Wise Princess goes in the big wooden house, of course. That's the Pious Pelican spot.
Missing the beaver and the frog, unfortunately.
Why don't we solve this one first?
Okay, O is yellow, L is red, and E is orange. Leo. L, E, O. Yeah, Leo.
The princess lost her most precious treasure. That's why it all happened.
I still can't wrap my head around it.
All right, should be easy enough.
Did it just get darker in here?
A baby blanket? Ollie, she noticed.
Dear Allison and Ollie,
I was her son.
we write stories to to understand and be understood. But what good is a story without a first act? I'm sorry. Oh, my throat.
Why does she have a photo of that tree locked in here?
I guess that's where she buried Leo. Aw.
Is that...
Leo Ronan.
Why didn't she tell us about him? Why didn't she tell us any of this?
I mean, it's fucking terrible. That's why. Allie, did we do the right thing opening this?
We did. It's better we know what happened, even if it's hard. And there's one more thing we need to see.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hmm.
Come on, let's go to the dock. It's time to finish this.
The crafty goblin's loot.
That's from The Princess and the Two Thieves. I drew the original.
And I distinctly remember drawing that cake, which is arguably the best part of that illustration.
All right, Picasso. And you probably remember what the goblins stole in that story, huh?
The cake. Where is the cake? A spoon.
What if they took some spoons?
There's a knife. Yeah, there's a spoon. Looks like fruit.
Maybe they took some of the princess's fruit?
Flour. Eggs. Yeah, oh, looks like an egg.
I'm pretty sure they stole some eggs. That's it. I always wondered where that drawing went. She said it was her favorite, and then one day it just disappeared.
Oh.
The old bear's gifts for the princess. I'm totally blanking on that story. What did he give her again?
Why don't we open up the book and check?
A fresh caught salmon, a handful of ripe berries, and a newly bloomed bluebell.
Fresh caught salmon? Some roses, maybe?
Oh,
Actually, I'm not sure. A newly bloomed bluebell?
and some berries.
A handful of ripe berries? Nice. Man, he had it bad. Just couldn't let go.
Sorry for the note under the door like a prison inmate. You okay? I stopped by and rang a couple of times this week, but you didn't answer. I could see light in the hayloft, so I figured you were in, but didn't want to talk. I hope I didn't ruin everything. I know I probably came on kind of strong, but the thing is, I don't know how to talk to a woman like you. You are strong and kind, and you know so much is hard for me to know how to keep up. I guess all that went to my head, but I want you to know I got the message, and I'm gonna get out of your hair now, and there doesn't need to be any bad feelings. We can pass in the street and say hello or not. It's okay. P.S. I noticed your car was leaking, so I put up some sealant in there. You might need to take it to the shop, though. Let me know if you want me to come with you, because sometimes these guys try to rip you off. If not, no big deal. Sam. The very old beavers repair first.
Very old beavers repair list.
That's the story where the princess's house gets damaged by a storm and the animals help her fix it.
Yeah. What did they do to fix it again?
They fixed that.
She slapped the post with her tail to right it.
She fixed the roof.
She fixed the roof shingles.
And the planks. So I guess the planks.
She fixed the planks though. All right. Damn. That must have been rough on Eddie.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to talk about her.
Oh, that's Carol. Was she the old beaver? Guess so. Dear Marianne, you cover your ears every time I try to have this conversation with you, so I thought I'd have a better chance doing this in a letter. I know you don't like to saying goodbye, so I'll keep my melancholic rambling short and sweet. I want to thank you with all my heart for taking care of me these past few months. I can't even imagine how exhausting it must have been for you to look after a sick old lady when you also have 2 small children at your home. I know you want me to keep fighting this disease and hoping for recovery, but it's always been a great strength of mine to know when it's time to let go. And that time has come. I'd like to ask you for one last favor. Please take care of Eddie after I'm gone. My poor boy puts on a brave front ever since his father died, but I know he's in pain. I would be so much more at peace knowing he still has family. Maybe he could teach the kids how to fish. He loves spending time with them. Thank you for the warmth and the peace you brought to my life. Give the kids a kiss for me, will you?
The crafty goblin's good deeds.
Of course, the goblins had to help out the creatures of the forest to pay off their debt to the pelican.
Well, what did they do?
You know, I don't really remember.
They had to give nuts to the muskrat.
Uh-uh.
Maybe not. They gave the stalwart moose a good scratch on the back.
Uh-huh.
They removed a thorn from the frog's back.
Nope.
Or not. They helped fix the beaver dam.
Uh-huh. Drop the beehive. They hugged the princess.
They hugged the princess when she was crying. They broke open the beehive for the bear.
Did the frog have a thorn? Let's see. I don't quite remember.
They had to give nuts to the muskrat. Wait. They removed a thorn from the frog's back. Huh. They had to give nuts to the muskrat.
I guess it is. It's, yeah, this one. Yeah, scratch the moose. Help the bear with the honey. Hug the princess. Okay, so it's just those three.
Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. Nailed it. Our lives would have been so different if their friendship hadn't gone to shit.
The Pelican Crossing is a specialty gift boutique located near O'Shea Glacier, catering to Gastineau Channel tourists as well as Delos Crossing locals. We specialize in an assortment of high-quality products from home accessories, handmade souvenirs, to personalized apparel and locally made art. Pelican Crossing will be the first store to act as a relay between the buzzing arts and crafts scene and customers. In addition to a wide array of novelty handcrafted products, the consumer will enjoy friendly and knowledgeable customer service from Vecchi store co-owner Tessa Vecchi and up-and-coming artist Mary Ann Ronan. This business plan is prepared to obtain financing in the amount of $20,000 to purchase inventory to help cover expenses in the first year of operations. In year one, the Pelican Crossing plans to break even, and in a year two, we plan to generate a moderate profit. Working on the executive summary part of the business plan, what do you think, Tessa?
You really want to go? You sure we've seen everything?
Yeah, it looks like it. Just don't have those two.
Either way, I'm ready for this to be over.
Me too. What are we waiting for? I want to know who was here that night. Let's try and remember who Marianne was arguing with.
Here we go.
Almost.
I knew it! Oh my god.
Tom Vecchi is our father?
Of course. It had to be him.
Tessa knew, didn't she?
Yeah, she must have. That's what she didn't want to tell us.
God, Marianne and Tom?
I know.
What should we do now?
Yeah, call him out here and make him tell us what was going on.
And if he won't?
We know his secret. He will. Tom? It's Allison. We need to talk. We know it was you.
It was the mayor. The mayor's their father.
Let me take the lead on this. I know him better. I thought I did, anyway.
Sure. Whatever. As long as we get answers.
Kids, listen.
You're our father.
Yes.
You knew how bad it got out here. How little we had. Why didn't you help Marianne?
You mean all the money she wanted? We didn't have anything to spare. Well, that winter was rough on everyone. And you would have starved out here if not for all the free food we gave you.
Don't act like you had anything to do with that. That was all Tessa.
That's a cruel presumption, young man. Maybe it was Tessa's idea initially. But I supported it. And your mother was happy to live off our handouts.
You tried to burn down our barn and knocked Tyler unconscious.
I never meant to hurt anybody. You weren't supposed to be home.
Doesn't excuse the fact that you didn't even stop to help.
What do you want me to say? I panicked. I was terrified that this whole thing was gonna blow up in my face. I had to do something.
So what do we do now?
We tell him he's gotta fix the mess he made, one way or another.
Hey, you hearing me?
Yep, sorry. I'm trying really hard to keep myself from punching him in the face.
He's not even the least bit sorry for what he did. He could have seriously hurt you.
Yeah, he's just a fucking coward.
You failed us, Tom. You need to make it right.
I'll do whatever you want. As long as none of this gets out.
Excuse me?
You want me to pay for my mistakes? Fine. But please, Tessa can't know. This'd kill her.
Tessa already knows, Tom.
No. That's impossible.
It never occurred to you the reason Tessa cut Marianne off was you?
But she never said anything. Oh, Lord.
You should try talking to your wife. Maybe if you had, we wouldn't be in this situation. And maybe Marianne wouldn't be dead.
Oh, come on. You of all people should appreciate how troubled Marianne was. She was unhinged. Something like this would have happened sooner or later.
That was convenient for you, huh? You preyed on her because she was vulnerable. And you knew you could always blame it on crazy Marianne Ronan if you got caught.
It was nothing like that. Nothing at all. Your mother was a very pretty woman. And she'd been so many places and done so many things. The way I always thought I would have. I got caught up. Love made me a fool. Look, I made mistakes. But this will not go any further than the three of us.
Why? We know. Tessa knows. Marianne's dead. There's no point in hiding it anymore.
He's afraid it'll tank his campaign. Am I wrong?
Jesus, Tom.
I've kept your secret all these years. I don't want to go spilling it. But I will if I have to.
What?
Yeah. Your little story about self-defense. I've never told anyone how Marianne really died. That night, I came out here because I was worried about your mother.
do it. They made me do it. Why did they do it? It's his fault. It's his fault.
Wait, no! Stop! Honey! Wait! Please!
I'm not gonna hurt you.
No. No way. You're a fucking liar.
I saw what I saw.
You're manipulating us just like you manipulated her.
Tyler!
You're not listening to this, are you?
Be smart about this, Allison. Are you sure you want this to get out? You've got way more here to lose than he does. His name will be all but clear, but you'll be a killer. What will your uncle say? And Michael? Well, the whole town might turn on you.
Don't touch her.
You know I'm right.
Just get out of here, Tom. Tyler and I need to talk alone.
Just please. Think twice before making any rash decisions. There are a whole lot of lives at stake here.
Leave us the fuck alone. And never come back. Allie, you okay? You didn't let that asshole get to you, did you? Did you?
What if he's right? I've been having all these nightmares about that night, and they were a lot like how Tom said. And now, when I try to remember, that's all I can see.
He's trying to mess with your head, and you're letting it work.
No, it's more than that. Ever since we started digging, I haven't been able to shake this feeling like something's off.
Something's off because he put this in your head. Don't let him get away with it.
He might not be lying. We keep getting things mixed up. We remember totally different versions of the past.
Those are just details. This isn't that. She was going to kill me.
I'm not so sure anymore, Tyler.
She had a gun pointed at me. She chased me. She said she was going to kill me.
She threatened Tom with those exact same words, with the same gun, on the same pier. The thing you said to Eddie the other day got thrown back at me. Don't you think it's possible that happened here too?
I guess it's possible. Fuck. I don't know. And we're never gonna know the truth, are we? Because the second you walk away from something, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, you just have to decide what you believe.
Me?
Yeah. You need to start dealing, Allie. And that means coming to terms with whatever version of the past feels the most true to you. No more running. Whatever you choose, you gotta live with it, okay?
I'm going to kill you! I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm going to kill you! Please, no, don't do this. Alice, this isn't what...
She was going to kill herself. Just herself. You interrupted her and... We got confused.
Are you sure?
Yes. That attic. Tyler, that was meant for us. It was her way of explaining what she was going through. I made a horrible mistake.
Hey, it's okay. I'm here. Hey, peep what I just found downstairs. What do you think? Would have aged well, or just gone bad? Where are you at right now?
I just keep hearing her say she wasn't going to hurt you. Over and over.
We were kids. We freaked out. You weren't equipped to deal with that shit.
She was just talking to you. And I killed her.
Stop.
I don't want to use our voice again. Ever.
What? Seriously?
I don't know. But I want to stop feeling like this. And I think we'll be better off without it. This morning, I kept getting these horrible visions. Of you and Marianne and Eddie.
Visions? Like our memories?
Yeah, but different. It was all my worst thoughts brought to life. You were in my bedroom saying I abandoned you. Eddie called me a snake.
I'm sorry. I should have been there for you.
It's okay. I was the one who walked out. I can't let that happen again.
I don't think it will. Something's been pushing us to find answers. And now we have them. Maybe I'm wrong. And if it stays bad, we can stop. But I really want to keep what makes us, us.
The Mad Hunter was forced to remain below the lake with the Moon Hag, but she did not kill him, because even reduced to just one hand, he was too useful a servant. Lo, he plotted the day he would emerge,
Brothers and sisters?
to once again hunt the wise princess and earn back his left hand.
Always.
And that is the story of how the crafty goblins rescued the wise princess from the Mad Hunter.
It's heartbreaking. Six months later. Oh, there's Green. He shaved his head.
One last look. Good to go.
He screams.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, me.
House is empty. I'm getting ready to head out, so last chance. Is there anything you want me to do while I'm in town?
Listen, Ty, you're dropping off the keys with Tina, right?
Yep, gonna leave them at her office on my way to the ferry.
Well, that's it then.
Oh, she's already heard about Tom.
How's Juno?
Big and full of people, even without tourists. Michael's been writing up rules for the apartment. I need your support against his whole food policy.
Just refuse to sign anything until I get there, okay?
Okay, but you better hurry. If he gets his way, we'll only have one small shelf for junk food.
What? Heresy. I'm gonna need like twice that just for snack cakes after my surgery next month.
I know, right? This cannot stand.
How are you?
Good, actually. Really good. You?
Same. You know, emptying the house really cleared my head out.
Thanks for doing that. The observatory really needed me this week, and after everything that happened, I just felt like I needed to keep some miles between me and Delos Crossing.
No worries. You still loving your therapist?
Gail, yes. I was actually just doing some letter writing she assigned me as homework. It really helped me get some perspective.
That sounds awesome. Did you see the article I sent you about Tom losing the election?
Ah, yes. I saw your message right before derby practice, so I didn't have time to read it. But I did cackle at the headline.
Did you picture Tom's face whenever you went in for a block?
No, but that is a great idea.
Anyways, I'm glad Tessa finally left his ass. Karma's a bitch. Okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
See you tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna take one last walk through the house and then head to the ferry.
Drive safe.
Pretty sure that's the only way possible in the old Allison mobile.
Love you, Tyler.
Love you. Certainly hope the new owners are Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It. Goodbye, room. Goodbye, room. Goodbye, man on the moon? For posterity.
Two crafty little goblins. Yeah, so let's see what happened.
Sucks to suck. Thomas Anthony Fecky.
Delos Crossing Police Chief takes on Alaska Crime Commission. Delos Crossing Police Chief Edward Brown calls for legislative task force to examine law enforcement crisis. Public safety crisis is no secret among the people of Alaska, especially those living in far and remote communities. Delos Crossing Police Chief Edward Brown has tasked himself with making a difference and has been working for years with legislators to draw attention to what he views as the failure of Alaskan law enforcement. Today, Brown visited the Criminal Justice Commission in Anchorage to present the case for new measures to fight this crisis, pointing the finger at overburdened state courts that failed to recognize tribal sovereignty. Brown proposed a shared supervision of publicly funded law enforcement in villages and Native communities. The agreement would follow the same model as the Alaska Tribal Health Compact. Ba-da-da-da. Can I not
suck.
read the other
Thomas
one?
Anthony Fecky.
Yeah, there we go. Benny Beatty lost Amy Chung against Kern's Mayor Leslie Scow. Declared victory in her bid for re-election. Scow's triumph was the widest margin of victory in Delos Crossing history. Sparked much debate in the community over his gun control policy. Okay. So it wasn't because of some of the community were baffled by his comments given the recent shuttering of Becky's business, the highly popular Tesla Cafe, ending her thriving business to focus on personal and spiritual matters.
Huh. Well, at least she finally dumped his ass.
Dearest Tyler and Allison, I am writing this letter from Juneau International Airport, where I will soon board a plane to Manila on a missionary assignment. I apologize for not coming in person to say goodbye, but I was called to make this decision alone and to carry it out on my own as well. I am sure that you understand that sometimes we must follow without question the prompting of the Spirit. I will not be coming back to the Delos Crossing for some time. Before I go, there is still something I feel I must confess to you both. Perhaps because I have never found the strength to confront my husband, I have never been able to forgive Marianne for her betrayal. I truly did love you both like my own children, and I always tried to forgive your mother for her unapologetic lifestyle. But when I discovered that you were the fruit of her affair with my Thomas, I wanted her to suffer like I was suffering. And I brought down on your house the wrath I never dared allow to unfold in mine. I've been deeply ashamed all these years, and I am surprised how much better I feel with it out of the open. The greatest thing about truth is the peace it brings to your life. I hope you can find it in your hearts to forgive me. You've taught me once again how love will bring you further in life, something that Marianne had been trying to show me all along. Take care of each other, always in his steps, Tessa. Oh. Tyler's kind of looking like V from Cyberpunk 2077 right here. Hey Goblins, word in town is that you guys finally sold the house. I came by tonight to help you fix what needs to be fixed, but there was nobody home. Are you gone already? Things change so fast these days. Anyway, you know where to find me if you want me to fix things. If you're still in town, I mean. It's getting late and I'm pretty tired. Oh, and I'm sorry for acting like the stupid ass I am. Everywhere I look, I think about what used to be. I've been trying to do better, but I think it might be too late for an old bear like me. Not sure if this will reach you. It's getting late. Call me if you're still around. Be safe, Sam. P.S. I wish it was easy to fix everything as a boat.
Man, seeing it empty is so weird, but at least it's the last time we'll ever have to.
Michael must be relieved to finally be done with that place, no doubt. If traffic's not too bad, I should be back at our place around 4 p.m. Aw, they get a place together. Haha, traffic in Delos. Only if the mailbox bandit escaped. And making that biscuit thing you like. Damn, on my way, I'll probably take out some fire hydrants and stop signs. Don't die. I'll keep it warm. See you in a few. Yeah, looks like they did get together. Wait, what else was that? Put the laptop in his pocket. Ah, the guy! The bandit! Oh, I like that picture.
gonna miss this.
One more jog down memory lane, Mr. Ronan?
Hey, I'm having a private moment with me, myself, and I here.
Okay, carry on.
Still using the voice.
Still no beavers. Well, I'm right behind you guys. Yeah, time to move on.
Everything okay, Ty?
Actually, yeah. Everything really is.
Alistair Leo was buried.
I'm sorry we're leaving you alone out here. Bye, Leo. Goblins out.
I think I did everything inside the house. Just checking out stuff outside before I guess we end it. I'm bummed I didn't find the frog and beaver statue.
I hope the next goblin family bakes a lot of sand pies in this. It's too bad Tessa closed her cafe. That other place just doesn't quite hit the spot.
Alright. Guess that's it here. And there's nothing in the kitchen. This is a cozy little house. I didn't see these. I can't take these letters?
Well, at least she finally dumped his ass.
Just leave them for the new family? Maybe Sam will clean it up. Goblin. The Goblin. Annual queer prom. This is that thing I was telling you about. See you there, D.
Aw, dreamy sigh.
Oh, it's them, yeah. Michael and Tyler. Is that a Master Chief block? It looks like it, lol. The moose. Alright, guess that's it.
Well, this is goodbye for real, I guess. Hey, Aaron. It's Tyler Ronan. I thought I'd catch you on your break between sessions, but I guess you're going along with another rebel with too many causes. I know I haven't reached out since I left Fireweed, but I just wanted to say, well, you were right about grief, about it going in circles. This morning, I was out on the porch staring at the fog, and my mother, she just tumbled right out of me. But it was okay. It actually felt good to remember. Anyway, give me a call back if you get a chance. I'll see you around. And thank you.
That's it. Okay, 67% confess the truth. That's the end. That was a good game. Collectibles. Consequences. So I wonder where that beaver and frog were. Well, I'll be putting all this up on my YouTube channel. So if anybody missed this, you can go back and rewatch it. Anybody in the stream, thanks for joining, and I'll see y'all next time.